Hi, so if you have traveled around the world enough, you know what this means. For those of you who have traveled around the world or at least changed countries, you don't have to travel around the world to notice this, or the ones who are going to be traveling, you already know or you are going to notice that the electrical system in different countries is not the same. So not the whole world uses this lovely American setup, but for example, in Europe, you may notice something like this compared to this. And even strangely, within the same Europe, you might come up with something like this. This seems to be the same with this one, but it's not. This is thicker. So this won't go into some of the plugs in Europe. This will go into some of the plugs in Europe. To convert this, you may need to use something like this if you come to the United States, right? So you plug this one here, and you have turned your European plug into a US plug. Seems easy. This is easy for laptops and stuff, right? For electronics, it's easier. Because most of the times, these things are, is it visible here? Can you read it? Right here. These things are rated for operating between 100 and 240 volts. So basically these have huge range of operation for voltage differences. It might be surprising to the ones who have not yet traveled that not all countries use the same electricity, not the same electric structure or electric operational limits. If you go to Europe, and this is the second challenge, this is the largest challenge. The smallest one was just the shape difference, right? Switching from here to here. The largest challenge is when you don't have an adapter like this, a wide range of operation. When you have, for example, a clipper like this one I bought it from Germany, and it's, for example, rated for, it's a famous brand, Moser. I like it. It's a very nice clipper, by the way. So you will notice that this is rated just for 220 to 240 volts. So the range of operation is much smaller in this one compared to the laptop adapter. Remember, the laptop adapter was able to operate from 100 to 240, but this is just 220 to 240. So when you come to the United States with this one, and obviously this is the European type of plug, when you come to the United States with this nice clipper from Germany, there we go, you cannot simply take the adapter, plug it, and expect that it works. You want me to show it to you? Let's go. Let's try. Let me show it to you. Let me show you what's happening when you do it. So this is a smaller adapter. I take the European plug it in. Now I will take this European rated clipper to a US plug, which is rated 120 volts. And I'll try to make it work. Ready? Can you hear the sound? It's just not operating, it's just buzzing. But not enough to move the blades. The blades are not moving. So, why is this happening? Again. US is 120 volts, but this is rated for 220, 240 volts. Plug adapters is not enough in this case. If you're just traveling temporarily, this is not a problem, right? You just don't use it and that's it. But if you are now living in another country for a long time, yes, you can buy a good quality wall clipper, which is rated for the US electrical system. has the US type of plug, works at 120 volts. But you love this, you sometimes want to use this. And more interestingly, you have some stranger products, such as this. This is a coffee maker, but it's a special type of coffee maker. It's called the Turkish coffee. It's like a Ottoman espresso, I would say. No, it's not an espresso. I will tell you in another video how the Turkish coffee works. But yes, this is a coffee maker. And you cannot plug this into a US plug and expect it to work just with an adapter. Because again, this is also rated for, is it shown anywhere? Yes. So this is also rated for 220, 240 volts, same. For these type of cases, not a plug adapter this time. The plug adapters are just simple devices. They are shape shifters, right? They just change the shape of your plug. You plug this, it turns into this. You plug that, it turns into that. It doesn't step up or step down. It just changes the shape. It doesn't change the voltage. Now you need to change the voltage as well. To do that, you need to use transformers. So you don't have something like a laptop adapter in between, which can work in a wider range, which is basically a transformer. These are all transformers. So this one is rated to work again at 220, 240 volts, right? It has a European plug, and you cannot simply plug this to a plug adapter and use it. Why? Because these adapters just change the shape. They don't change the voltage. So what are you going to do? Now the third dimension comes into play. The power that you will be needing. So obviously this coffee maker and this clipper will not require the same power. This one just requires 10 watts. Is it shown here? I think so, yes. So just check here, you see 10 watts. However, this one requires, should be visible here, 670 watts. So this one requires 67 times more power compared to this. What type of a step-down transformer that you need to use now? And this is my topic today. When I first moved here, I love this one. I really love this one. The feel, the usage. So let's say you loved your coffee so much that you brought it together with you all the way from Europe, and you want to use this in US. So this time, it won't simply be enough to plug this to an adapter like this and change the shape for the US plugs. Because if you plug this to a wall, the wall plug in the US will have 120 volts. Remember, this one was requiring 220 to 240 volts. And here comes the third dimension to make things more complex. What is the power that you will be needing? Here comes the tool that we will be using for such purposes. The step down or step up transformers. So what do we mean by step up, step down? For example, if you brought a product from Europe and you want to use that here, you need to convert the wall plug, the volt, you need to convert the volt of 120 to 240 so that you will be able to operate this one or this one. But, a lot of buts in this game. As I have mentioned, these have different power needs. And you cannot just go to Amazon and search for a step-up transformer. Why step-up? Because I brought the product from Europe and it was rated for 240, but in US I have 120 and I need to step that up to 220, 240 so that I can use these products. The dimensional power is now important. For example, when I first came here, in order to use this clipper, because I just had this, I didn't have the wall yet. So I just purchased this simple, made in China transformer. Okay, it looks like a shape changer from Europe to US, but not only with that, it also changed the voltage. For example, you will see here that it's going to say step up converter. It steps up from 110, 120 to 220, 240. Okay? Again, what is the power? For example, can I use this little thing for this? Unlikely, right? Why? Because we have already checked that. This one is rated just for 50 watts maximum. You will see it somewhere around here. Don't forget to check this, 50 watts. What was the power need on this one? 670 watts. So if I use this step-up transformer to step up from 120 volts to 240 volts, I will probably burn this out because this is just able to provide 50 watts. Anything over that, in this case 670, will just wear this out. The best case, it won't just work. The worst case, this will be damaged. So, for such high power requiring devices, you will need something like this compared to this. This is really heavy, I'm not joking. This is something like 20 pounds, I believe. Yeah, this is easily 20 pounds. So what is the difference between this and this? These are both step-up transformers. This does also work as step-down, by the way. It has to, right? It's heavy enough, it has to do more. But that's not the only difference. This one is able to give you just 50 watts of power output, but this one is able to handle the devices that require up to 2000 watts. 50, 2000. So this is 40 times more powerful. So this is already more powerful for the coffee maker because the coffee maker was requiring just 670. So the coffee maker was just requiring 670 watts, whereas this one provides 2000 watts in case you need it. So this is an overkill for the case of the coffee maker, but just in case, right? I can show you what this looks like. Yes. So in the back end, there are two inputs. One input for is 220, one input for 110, right? If you're in the US, you just plug here from the wall to here. If you're in Europe and you want to step down, so if you're in US and you want to step up from 110 to 220, you plug your wall here and you plug your devices to the 220s. But if you are in Europe and you need to step down now, you plug here to the wall, to 20 wall plugs in Europe, and use these for 110s, okay? This is how it works. In both ways, it's heavy. Okay. So, what was my experience on this? What is the takeaway from this story? If you are traveling, know that you may need these. If you are traveling with different voltage rated products for different voltage rated countries, you will need transformers. And what type of transformer? It will depend on the power that your device will require. Just one story. Again, remember what was the watt that this could handle? 50. And what was the watt that this needed? Just 10 watts. These were a perfect pair, okay? But then I had another device that was just requiring 62 watts. I said, this is 50, it's 62, let me use it, what can go wrong, right? I did use it, the device did work for a while, but then it stopped working. I don't know why, but I learned my lesson. Never go over the rating here. 50 watts, do not plug something, even if it's 51, even if it's 50 in this case, don't push it to its limits because these devices are very fragile, obviously. And what happened after that? For example, let me show you how these work and let me show you what this was supposed to do, but it's not doing now. So, let me bring you closer. Okay, visible? Yes. So, ready for the takeoff? Whoa. Okay. I can hear the sounds. All right, now this is taking the energy from the wall plug, which is rated US 120 volts. Let's see if it's doing what it says. So I am opening up my multimeter. And let's just start by measuring the standard wall plug, right? Here we go. And here we go. 120. Okay? 120 volts. Now, let's see if this device is doing what it's supposed to do. Remember, it had a 220 volt output now. 240. Yes. Good. Good enough. Thank you. Yes. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And right here, it should be giving out 110s. 120. Yeah. That play 110, 120, 220, 240. That's usually normal. And that's it. However, remember this tiny device, which was rated for 50 watts, what we did plug in 62? Let's see what happened with this device. So what was this supposed to do? Remember again, this is supposed to convert 110 volts up to 240. But after plugging a 62 watt requiring device to this 50, this is what happened. Yes, unfortunately, this device is now just able to still output 120, which means that it's unable to convert and step up 120 to 240. It's just taking 120 and it's handing you back the 120. So the circuit has gone bust, okay? That was all for today. I hope I don't die. It looks scary. Bye.